I don't usually talk about Major League Baseball here on the channel. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, I don't watch baseball. So my opinion on what's going on in baseball means nothing because I don't watch it. I was a huge fan of Major League Baseball when I was growing up, but I grew up in what I consider to be the golden age of baseball, the golden era. They had huge stars, lots of home runs. The game was actually exciting. I lost interest in baseball after the steroid scandal when steroids were removed from the league. The game has gotten slower. It's boring, to be honest with you. The league tends to cater to an older demographic. They don't really cater to the younger generation, which leads me to the second reason I don't cover Major League Baseball. Like me, my audience doesn't watch it either. 40% of my audience here on YouTube is the 25 to 34 demographic. 25%, 18 to 24. My generation just doesn't watch baseball. It's as simple as that. Ratings for the World Series last year down 32%. They couldn't even draw up enough interest to get 10 million people to tune in. It was abysmal. It was a disaster. In 2021, the only time Major League Baseball is in the news cycle, it seems to be for something negative. Just like the story that broke late last week that we're going to talk about here today. The 2021 All-Star Game was scheduled to be in Atlanta this year. Not anymore. Rob Manfred made the decision over the weekend to remove the All-Star Game from Atlanta because the state of Georgia passed a new voting bill. Uh, what? Can someone please tell me what the hell a new voting bill or voting law in Georgia has to do with Major League Baseball? I must have missed the memo. I didn't know Georgia politics and Major League Baseball were intertwined together. We covered the woke movement in sports extensively on the channel here last year. Actually, it was some of my most popular videos. Sports leagues going woke was not a popular decision. A lot of the audience didn't like it. Specifically, the NBA going woke. It had a devastating impact on their TV ratings. Ratings for the playoffs down double digits. NBA Finals last year, least watched in the history of the league. And that was with LeBron James, the most popular player in the league, and the Lakers, the most popular franchise in the NBA Finals. No one gave a damn. No one cared. No one cared because the NBA had pissed off a large portion of their audience by being so political. We've seen politics tank ratings in the NFL, saw it in the NBA. So with Major League Baseball declining in popularity the last 20 or so years, why in the hell would Rob Manfred make a decision that he knows is going to piss off the majority of his audience? Young people watch the NBA. In general, younger people less political than older people are. The average age of a Major League Baseball fan, 57 years old. That demographic pays attention to what's going on in the world of politics. You'd figure Major League Baseball going woke would have a big impact on their ratings, or maybe even a bigger impact on their ratings than it would the NFL and the NBA, who have a younger audience. So why would Rob Manfred make this decision? On the surface, it makes absolutely no sense. Logically, makes no sense. Most older people lean towards the right of the political spectrum. The decision to remove the All-Star Game from Atlanta because of a Republican voting bill in Georgia is going to piss off a lot of baseball fans. So I come back to the question that I just asked. Why would they do this? Why would they remove the All-Star Game from Atlanta? Maybe they're doing it to show support for the minority players. Could be, but I doubt it. Maybe Rob Manfred folded to political pressure. Could have had something to do with it. I'm going to give you my theory on this, and I want to make this clear. This is just my theory, my opinion. I don't have any proof that what I'm about to explain to you is the sole reason why Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball made the decision to move the All-Star Game. But once I tell you this and you really think about it, do your own research on it, it kind of makes sense. Have any of you guys heard of ESG before? If I had to guess, I would say no. I had never heard of ESG before last week. ESG stands for Environment, Social Justice, and Governance. 3 words, people who love freedom never want to hear. Have you guys noticed lately that a lot of these major Fortune 500 companies are going woke? Coca Cola, Delta Airlines, Target, the list goes on and on. Major banks going woke. Historically, in this country, corporations have stayed as far away from politics as they could. Not in 2021. We are beginning to see more and more companies go woke. Why? Why? Because of ESG. ESG is a new rating system that is used to grade businesses. It's kind of like a credit score. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, how it could work. The scale for the ESG rating system is 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being poor. The system judges businesses on where they stand on environmental issues, climate change or what have you, and where they stand on social justice causes or issues. If they support going green, if they support social justice causes, like defund the police, then the ESG rating system will give them a high rating. And if the companies don't support the causes or agree with these far left issues, their ESG score will be low. Now you might be thinking, who cares? Who cares about an ESG score, right? The companies that don't support it, the companies that don't lean left, they'll be supported by people who don't agree with the far left. And theoretically, that's how it should work. But the consequences of not complying with ESG could destroy a business. Let's say you own a business and your ESG score is below a 5. You need some capital to expand your company. You're growing, but you need some money. Naturally, what do? You go to the bank, you go get a loan. Now, if you have a low ESG score, the bank will refuse to loan you the money. Doesn't matter if your credit rating is perfect. Doesn't matter if you have a long history with the bank. It doesn't matter if your brother is the loan officer. None of that matters. If your ESG score is below a 5, you're screwed. I really believe that this is the reason we're seeing these sports leagues go woke. ESG is not something that is new. This has been in the works for a while now. It's just now being exposed. We're just now seeing it. If you don't believe what I'm telling you about it, go Google Delta ESG or Target ESG. Their policies are right there on their website for everybody to see. So what does this mean for the NBA, NFL, or in this case, Major League Baseball? Just look at what happened last week with the All-Star game. Delta came out against the Georgia voting bill. Coca-Cola did the same thing. Other major corporations in Atlanta, they followed suit. They all fell in line. Eventually, Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball, they essentially had to comply. Because if they didn't, they could lose sponsorships. I mean, they were in a lose-lose situation. Rob Manfred had to choose between his fan base or powerful people with a lot of money and influence. If you really dig into this and read up on it, it starts to make sense. Logically, it is a ridiculous decision for Major League Baseball to go woke. We all know that. I mean, ratings for baseball are already in the pooper. They were celebrating opening day ratings last week because they were up 29%. But when you're already at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. ESPN had the Yankees opening day, the most popular team in baseball. They drew 900,000 viewers. I mean, that's pathetic. When baseball is less popular than the WWE, you know you have a big problem. Without sponsorships, Major League Baseball would struggle to exist. We already know how woke ESPN is. And with what I read, with the way ESG works, if Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball don't comply, they could risk not having television partners, which would be the end of Major League Baseball. Now, I don't think we've gotten to that point yet with ESG, but I do think that's where we could be headed. It's coming. At this point, I don't think Rob Manfred's worried about television ratings. Seems to me he's more concerned with complying with ESG. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I could be way off base here. But why else would they move the All-Star game? You guys give me a logical explanation as to why Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball would make this decision. Baseball's already struggling. Like I said earlier, average fan's 57 years old. Young people are not watching baseball. Once the older audience for Major League Baseball dies out, they'll have very few fans left. and they go out and make a decision that's likely to piss off what little audience they already have. You're not going to hear this theory anywhere else. I can guarantee you that. ESPN, not going to talk about it. The mainstream sports media altogether will probably ignore it. But I really feel like ESG is the primary reason sports is going woke. Maybe not the only reason, but I think it's the main reason. What do you guys think? Have I lost my mind? Or could I be right? Could ESG be the reason that we're seeing the NBA, Major League Baseball, and major companies in this country go woke? Really interested to hear what you guys had to say about this one. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email, btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. See you guys Tuesday. Enjoy your Easter.